Do you want to know how to install Google Analytics 4 on WooCommerce? In the next few minutes, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about which Google Analytics 4 WordPress plugin to use to get all the data you need, including e-commerce conversion data. My name is Elise Nelson, and I help tech challenge makers build a profitable e-commerce brand. Thanks for joining me on my YouTube channel, where I offer lessons that are 15 minutes or less to help you grow your e-commerce shop. In this short video, I'm going to share with you all about setting up Google Analytics 4 for WooCommerce. But before we jump into this maker lesson, I'd love to know, do you use WooCommerce for your e-commerce shop? Leave a comment and let me know. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into the step-by-step. So the very first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that if you have analytics blocking extension installed on your Google Chrome browser, that you turn this off. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a video called How to Exclude Internal Traffic in Google Analytics, where I teach you how to use an extension to block your visits to your website so that you are not impacting your data as far as shoppers and purchases on your website. So if you have that installed, or if you want to know how to install it, you can go watch that video after this one. But what we're going to do is you're going to go to your website. You are going to look right here, and do you see how there's this little circle with the line through it, and it says Analytics Blocked? That's telling me that I have blocked the analytics on this site, which is going to make it impossible for me to check if it's working. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the extension. I'm going to uncheck this. Then you're going to have to reload the site so that it will turn off the blocking. Now you can see it no longer has the circle, and when I hover over it, it says that analytics is not blocked. So that's the first step that we want to do. Next, you want to make sure that you have installed Tag Assistant Legacy by Google. This is something you need to have so we can check your site as we're going through. So I've already got it installed, so I'm going to go ahead, and to get this, you're just going to go to the Chrome extension store and then install it. And I'll put a link in the description of this video for that extension. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on this, you're going to click on Enable. And that is going to make it so that it can check and see what Google tags you have installed on your site. So G tag is what it's called, and that is the coding that makes Google Analytics work. So now that we have enabled it, we're going to go ahead and refresh our website one more time. And then if you see here, this extension now has numbers on it. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and it's going to tell me what G tag I have installed. You can see I've got this one, global site tag G tag, and it has a UA number, and then this is Google Analytics, and it's got a UA number. So that UA number stands for Universal Analytics, which is the old version of Google Analytics. This is what is going to be phased out in July of 2023. So what we're actually looking for here is to see if they have analytics at all, so that this tells me they do, and if it has a Google Analytics 4 ID on it. So if it did, this would say G dash. But because they don't have one that says G dash, I know that they do not have a Google Analytics 4 installed on their website. Before we jump into the rest of the lesson, please like this video and comment with the word analytics. Also, be sure to stick with me to the end of the video to learn your challenge for today and implement what you've learned. All right, so let's go ahead and go into our analytics account now. I'm gonna come over here. And we're also gonna look here to find out if they have Google Analytics 4 installed, because we don't wanna install a second version if they already have it. So here is our analytics account. You're just gonna click in this top corner over here, and it's gonna show you what analytics accounts you have. And you can see here's the one here, and she's got one property and app, and then there's two different views. She also has two properties. This one, it says it's for Etsy, so this is probably not what I'm looking at. But if you find you have multiple properties, you're gonna wanna go into each one of them and check and see if you're getting data. So as I look at hers, I've got these two here. I know I don't want this one because it says Etsy. So I'm looking at this one, and I know that it's working because look, it's saying that there was an active user in the last 5 minutes, and that was me. She's got user data coming through. You can also check and see if sales data is coming through. You would do that by going to Conversions, E-commerce Overview. I know that her site is not currently set up with Universal Analytics to actually receive conversions. So that's why I have 0 revenue, 0 conversion rate, and this is how you would check that. This does not impact your installation of Google Analytics 4 because we're going to make sure you're set up to receive conversions, purchase data. But if you're curious about it, you can look at that. But I know that her site is connected to Google Analytics even though it's not receiving purchase data because, as I said, I could see that I was active on the site within the last 5 minutes, and I could see that she had analytics data coming through. So this tells me that her site is in fact connected to Universal Analytics. Now she had 2 different views, so I'm going to go ahead and look at the other view and see what it does. Because we want to determine which view is the view we want to build our Google Analytics 4 property off of. So it looks like this one is also getting the active users in the last 5 minutes. Let's see if this one is getting conversions. So it looks like this one is also not getting conversions. And I am noticing that the numbers that I'm getting for these 2 accounts are different. So on this one, I'm only seeing, 13. On the other one, I think it said I had 19. So I'm probably going to go with the other account. Most of the time, if you have multiple accounts, multiple views, the one that says all website data is the one you want to use, because that is what the original was made with when you created your Google Analytics your Google Analytics account. So probably you want to go with the one that says all website data, but it is still worth looking to see what your other accounts have on them and make sure that you're getting the data to whichever one you're going to use. So yeah, that one said 13 and this one says 17. So it looks to me like this one is getting more data for whatever reason. So we're going to go ahead and use this one. Now we're going to go into admin. And we're going to come to this property column and we're going to go to GA4 Setup Assistant. And this is our third way of checking if you have Google Analytics 4 on your account. Do you see how it says not connected? That tells me that you have not connected Google Analytics 4 to this view. So what you're going to do if it says not connected is you're going to click on Get Started. If it says connected, you already have Google Analytics 4 account, you'll have a button that'll say View this account or something like that. So we're going to click on Get Started. That is going to give us the opportunity to create a Google Analytics 4 property. The question that we have right here, this little check mark, is whether you want to use your existing Universal Analytics setup for your Google Analytics 4 property. Now, my suggestion is that you do not do this, even if it is an option, because we want to make sure we have a clean install of Google Analytics. And depending upon how you've set up Universal Analytics, it may not be a clean install. It could have issues, like how this one is not receiving e-commerce data. You'd be better off to have a clean install of Google Analytics 4 and leave your Universal Analytics account alone. So I'm going to uncheck this box. Some people will not even have this as an option, but sometimes you do. And then click Create Property. So now it's going to create my Google Analytics 4 property. And you can see now I'm on the Google Analytics 4 Property Setup Assistant and I am connected. And it has that button, Go to your GA4 Property. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to open up a new browser window to take me to my Google Analytics 4 property. All right, so you can see here we are in our GA4 Google Analytics 4 property. You can even see here in the name it says that. It is automatic. This is going to be one of the ways you can tell which property is which. If we click up here in the upper left corner, you'll be able to see that now under TJE Design Studio, she has this UA property, and then she has a property that does not have a letter at the front, but it says GA4. The other thing I want to note here is if you have a GA4 account, you will only have 2 columns, the account and the properties and apps. There will be no view column. But if you are looking at a Universal Analytics, you will have 3 columns, the account, the properties and apps, and the view column. So that's another way that you can see which account you are on. All right, so once you do this, you probably will get some of these little blue pop-ups. You are free to look at those if you would like. I'm just going to close them out. Now we're going to click on Data Streams over here in the left column, and then we're going to click on the stream to open it. And you can see it's giving us an error that you haven't had any data. That's because we haven't connected this yet, so that is totally fine. Don't worry about that. We are going to scroll down. We're going to click on Configure Tag Settings. And then we're going to click on Show All so we can see all of our options here in the settings. And we want to go to List Unwanted Referrals. And the point of listing unwanted referrals is that you can make it so that Google Analytics doesn't count referrals from things that you use for processing, for payment, as a referral. So you don't want to show that you have 100 referrals from PayPal or from Stripe because someone went through the checkout process. You want that to be a continuous thing as one visit. You don't want that to be listed as a referral. So we're going to do referral domain contains. We're going to do stripe.com. Add condition, referral domain contains paypal.com. And if you have any other payment providers that you know that you're using, go ahead and add those as well. Again, this is just so that when your data comes in, it's not listed as a referral. We're going to go ahead and hit save. And then we are done in here, so we're going to X that out. So now we are back on our data stream. We're going to click on the measurement ID. We're going to go ahead and copy that. So we've got it copied to our clipboard. And now it's time to switch over to the admin area of our WordPress site. So here we are. You're going to want to go ahead and go to plugins, and we are going to add a new plugin. We're going to be looking for WooCommerce Google Analytics integration by WooCommerce. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in here. And do a search. You can see here it is. Now this image may change, but it's going to be WooCommerce Google Analytics integration, and it is by WooCommerce. And I realize that the ratings are not very high, but this is a completely new app. It's the updated version, and it should work with your site. Now for this site, I'm not sure what version of WooCommerce she has. It does say that it's untested with your version of WordPress. So that is concerning. Hopefully it'll say compatible with your version of WordPress when you get here. Either way, I want you to go ahead and click on Install Now. If you come across this same problem, untested with your version of WordPress, go to a backup, update all of your things, your WooCommerce, WordPress. If you've got any other plugins, get those all updated, make sure that everything is functioning properly on your site before doing this. Then it should say that it's compatible with your version. Just so you're aware, I have tested actionable Google Analytics and Google Analytics for WordPress by Monster Insights. And both of these do not send e-commerce conversion data or purchases to Google Analytics 4. So that is the reason that I'm recommending installing this particular plugin, because this one does send e-commerce conversions or purchases to your Google Analytics 4 account. Now, if you're willing to pay for something, Monster Insights paid version and Actionable Google Analytics paid version are supposed to send purchase conversion data. I have not tested those because my goal was to try and find you guys a free plugin. So this free plugin does work. I've used it on several sites. Again, if you have not updated to the most recent version of WordPress or WooCommerce, you should do that. Make sure you perform a backup before proceeding. What you're going to do now is you're going to click Install Now. And once it's installed, you're going to click Activate. All right, so now it should be installed. So let's go down. Here it is, WooCommerce Google Analytics integration. You can click on Settings here. And theoretically, you should still have the ID from your Google Analytics account copied. So you should be able to just click and paste it. You can right click and click paste. And then we're basically going to go down and we are going to check all these boxes with one exception. So I'm just going to go ahead and check all of these. The only one we do not want to check is this accept incoming linker parameters. We don't need that one. The rest of these should all be checked. Definitely make sure you enable enhanced e-commerce. So once you've done that, you're going to click on Save Changes. Okay. We scroll down. Your settings have been saved. I also want to point out there's an alternate way to get here. You don't have to go through plugins. You can also go WooCommerce Settings and then Google Analytics. So either one of those ways should work. You may also have a integrations button that you have to click in addition to going to Google Analytics, depending upon your version of WooCommerce. But either way, you're going to go into Google Analytics here in the settings, or you can go to it through the plugin. So it looks like everything was saved, everything looks good. So now we are going to test and see if this is actually working. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the website, and I'm just going to browse around. Just click a bunch of buttons and, you know, wait for it to load and go around the site. All right, so once you have browsed around your site, we're going to go ahead and go to Reports, and then we're going to select Real Time. And you can see it is showing users in the last 30 minutes. It's showing that there's someone active. It's showing my location. I can see that I have one user. And over here in Events, I see events coming through. First visit, session start, user engagement, scroll. All of these things are showing up. This tells me that it is receiving data. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our Tag Assistant again and see if it's showing anything. So do you see now how I have the G is showing up? I've got a G tag with a G. Google Analytics 4 is installed. The next step is to make sure that purchases are happening. In order to do that, you will actually have to make a purchase. So I'm going to go ahead and select an item to purchase. We're going to get these earrings. And you're going to literally go through the entire checkout process. All right, so here you can see it's telling me order received, thank you for your payment, and we have sent an order through. So now we're going to go back to our Google Analytics 4. You can see there's still more data coming in, still showing just one user. And as we come down here to the bottom, you'll have to wait a few minutes to see the event and the conversion that says purchase. Assuming that you see all of that, you have installed this correctly and it is functioning, you should be getting e-commerce data to Google Analytics. You're going to want to wait about 24 to 48 hours and then come back into your reports snapshot. And in your report snapshot, it should show a sale. So it should have a monetary value. If it does not, after 24 to 48 hours, then something is still not correct when it comes to your installation. If you did not update WooCommerce, WordPress, any other plugins that you have, that could be the reason for it, but it should actually show you total revenue here. And it should show you the purchase that was done on your site. And again, that'll take 24 to 48 hours. The last thing that we need to do is we want to make sure that you connect any associated Google accounts. So we're going to go ahead and click on Admin. And then under the property column, you can see these product links. And this allows you to do things like connect Search Console, Google Ads, all of these things, the Merchant Center. You can go ahead and connect all of these to your Google Analytics account so that it'll get data as you are using Google Analytics. And that is all for setting up WooCommerce with Google Analytics 4. If you have any questions, go ahead and put those below. Make sure to follow my channel and subscribe for notifications so that you won't miss any of the tutorials that I offer that are 15 minutes or less. Today's question was, do you use WooCommerce for your e-commerce shop? Leave a comment and let me know. Also, be sure to check out the video about how to connect Google Analytics 4 on Shopify by clicking the link in the description if you have a Shopify website. Your challenge for today is to create your Google Analytics 4 property. Just go back to the beginning of this tutorial, watch the steps, and you can get that done. Once a month, I randomly pick one of the comments from the new videos that are released every single week, and if you're subscribed to the MyScheduledBiz channel, you will win a free ticket to my next social media challenge. Best of luck to you all. Don't forget to live your dream every single day, and I'll see you next time.